There is a man who has worked these many years,
dedicated to bringing music to our lives,
helping countless others throughout his long career
to find the beauty in the music that we hear.
as we go on, living day to day.
There is a part of you in everything we do.
For some it's been so many years,
For others, just a few.
since PHS.
Norman Allen, you. We are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives you touch. Now how do we say goodbye? We've joined together once again, like so many times before. Reunited now to sing just one more song.
I remember so well little things you said and did, which have become part of the choir legacy.
This is no knitting needle, despite what you may see.
Watch my lips, you'll only know by watching me.
We are the choir, Allen alumni.
We are the ones whose lives you've touched. Now how do we say goodbye?
Joined together once again, like so many times before.
reunited now to sing just one more song.
Well, I can still hear, when is it my time, people?
Well, Uncle Norm, it always has been, always will.
Eins, zwei, drei, we're from Mexico, up north to Canada.
We came, we saw, we
Conquered when we sang.
We are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives we touch. Now how do we say goodbye? We've joined together once again, like so many times before. Reunited now to sing just one more song. We are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives we touch. Now how do we say goodbye? We've joined together once again, like so many times before. Reunited now to sing just one more song. We are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives we touch. Now how do we say goodbye? Joined together once again, like so many times before. Reunited now to sing just one more song. We are the choir, Allen alumni. We are the ones whose lives we touch. Now how do we say goodbye? We join together once again, like so many times before. Reunited now to sing just one more song.
When they told me they were making a videotape, they asked me to think of an anecdote that
would remind me of you in high school. And I couldn't think of anything except for me. I think I'm an anecdote. My jacket, I think, and Rhode Island, and I think you could take it from there. I just want to say thank you, and for making me laugh, and for just being you. And I dedicate this coat to you, and this outfit to you, and my closet. If you ever need any clothes, it's always open.
I'm on television. You know, Mr. Allen, I remember once when we went to the top of a mountain, we did, on the last day of April in 1979. We climbed to the top of the mountain on the last day of April. You know what we found, Mr. Allen? We found the last snow of the season on the top of this mountain in Vermont, we did. And you know what I did, Mr. Allen? I leaned down and snatched up some of this snow, and I made a snowball, and I carried it down to the bottom of the mountain. I did. And then when I got into your van, Mr. Allen, I opened up your ice chest, and I undid my frostbitten hand, and this snowball plopped into your ice chest. And there it stood until the next day, Mr. Allen, when you took out that snowball that had come from the top of the mountain and tenderly stuck it down Scott Furgang's back.
Well, Mr. Allen, it's been 3 years since I graduated, and I must say that being in choir was a highlight of my high school career. I'd just like to wish you and your family the best of luck. And I must say that I did have nails, but unfortunately during finals I bit them all off. This is Beth Lee Schaefer, and good luck.
Mr. Allen, I guess there are 3 basic stories that would sum up my 3 years at Premise High School. First would be my very first small ensemble rehearsal when you were telling all us new kids about the trip you took to Mexico. And you told us that you sang over the Mexican radio, and I raised my hand and wanted to know how it sounded in the translation, listening to it in Spanish. And that's how we first basically got introduced.
I will never be able to forget the time when you locked me out of your office with a turkey dinner that you didn't want, and you humiliated me in front of Mr. Fuchs's class.
I'd like to thank you just for being there all the years. You'd point out saying that I knew what was going on when I really didn't. And all the rehearsals, the plays, the trips, and most of all, I think just being around you, because you were a great inspiration to me all the years in high school. Tell your wife I still owe her that game of Pinochle. And of all things, Mr. Allen, just like to say thanks again for being there, even with all your stories about the tunnel, the horse, your lost brother in the snow, and everything else that we heard about. They're a fantastic memory which I'm going to be glad to keep for the rest of my life. So, Mr. Allen, just thanks for being there. God be with you.
Mr. Allen, I can't tell a lie. I know everyone's been saying they'll miss you and they're sorry that you're going to go, but I'm not. I'm glad you're going. Basically for one reason. Over the years, I became known as a fit giver. And it's a hard title to live with, Mr. Allen, and I feel somehow when you leave, that's going to be over. And the phase of my life where I gave fits will be over. So I'm glad you're leaving, because it's time for me to grow up, and it's time for me to be a human being. And now that you're gone, I don't think I'm going to have any problems, Mr. Allen. I wish you a lot of luck, but it's time for Mr. Alex Ishkinian to stop giving fits.
Alex have a fit! Alex have a fit! Alex have a fit!
I'm not going to give in, Mr. Allen. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me, Mr. Allen. Are you looking at me, Mr. Allen?